again, North Alabama. Welcome back to the Fox 54 Weekend Review. I'm Kenesha Dees. Here's a look at what we've covered the past 7 days. We'll look at Mid-City's growth and help coming from a surprising source, how the city of the Saints is helping the city of Rockets. We're talking nuclear options with education at Alabama A&M University and the more than 20-year partnership with the nation's nuclear regulators, bringing graduates into the workforce. And it's the pause that refreshes. That's an old slogan for Coca-Cola, and it's an apt metaphor for recently completed artwork that makes what was old new again. But we continue Fox 54's coverage of the death of Steve Perkins, a Decatur man shot by police more than a month ago. The police department completed its internal investigation of the incident, and it's where we begin this week in review. Chief Todd Pinion issued the update this afternoon, a month and a half after Perkins was shot and killed by Decatur police outside his home after a tow truck driver tried to repossess his truck. Chief Pinion shared that the internal investigation only addresses potential policy violations and is separate from the criminal investigation. Aaliyah is currently investigating. Chief Pinion also pointed out the slow speed of the investigation and had a statement directed to the Perkins family. In part, quote, he says, "My thoughts remain with the family and friends of Steve Perkins and all who have been impacted by his death," end quote. And in part, quote, "I recognize the pace of this process may be frustrating to many who were waiting for answers," end quote. An important thing to note in this case is that under Alabama state law, a chief of police cannot formally discipline his or her officers. This is how it works. Chief Todd Pinion will review the Decatur PD's internal investigation of the case. That's called a predetermination hearing. Then the results from that hearing would be presented to the mayor for a determination hearing. At the determination hearing, Mayor Tab Bowling would decide what type of discipline is to be issued and how severe the punishment is. Civil rights lawyer Cannon Lambert Sr., who was involved in the case, addressed community questions through a public forum that was put on in collaboration with Morgan County's NAACP organization. Many members in the community expressed what happened to Perkins wasn't the first time something like this has occurred with Decatur police.
It's just been a forceful way that Decatur police have handled themselves over the years.
This is about Steve Perkins, but I'm positive that what happened to Jaden feeds right into this case because of that same officer.
I'm hearing that this kind of thing that happened to Steve Perkins, this has been going on. It's been a powder keg that's been waiting to explode in this community anyway. We need to organize and start getting these complaints amongst ourselves.
All right, after the forum, Lambert spoke with news media about where they are right now with the case and what happens next.
We are partnering with the community now. And we had hoped to do that before, and we are going to actively do that. We are going to partner with this community. We understand that this community has a cry for transparency and for help, and they want to see justice in this situation. And where they're not getting any communication or cooperation at all from law enforcement and the powers that be, that's where you see us come in. We will make our determination as to when we file suit based on the things that we best believe will help and benefit the Perkins family. There are some things that we are continuing to work out. We don't know what the results of the investigation are, and we don't know whether or not the investigation went far enough. We've not had a lot of cooperation that's been given to us from law enforcement to this point, which has truly been frustrating and disappointing.
We're frustrated right now, but we don't give up. We're mad. We're human beings, especially when you have seen this happen. If it wasn't for the door cam, we wouldn't even be having this interview. Can you imagine how many other people have become victims of this type of stuff?
Attorney Lambert says if they're unable to get answers about what happened to Steve Perkins, they will file suit. For our complete coverage of the Steve Perkins investigation, be sure to visit fox54.com. Decatur citizens concerned over transparency in the wake of the police shooting death of Steve Perkins made a proposal at tonight's city council session. Resident Craig Johnson presented an idea for a unity march and asked for city and police cooperation to make it happen. The proposed route would begin and end at Ingalls Harbor and conclude with a community cookout. The route would go over the Steamboat Bill Memorial Bridge, which was the site of a traffic blocking protest last month, but with one key difference.
Where we want to turn around. That means that bridge will be blocked for 18 minutes. And it's not completely blocked because our procession will not stop.
Well, the council made no decision on the proposed Unity March at tonight's meeting. There were also continued calls from speakers for Decatur Mayor Tab Bowling to vacate his position as mayor. Bowling did not attend the council session.
Well, it was a day full of unity at the Steve Perkins Fit and Fun Day held at the Founders Park in Decatur. Steve Perkins was killed in an officer-involved shooting on September 29th. And today, the Perkins family and the Decatur community rallied together to honor his life, but in a different way. Perkins was a gym enthusiast, too, so this event included fitness demonstrations, games, music, food trucks, and more.
Since September 29th, it has been an emotional roller coaster with the passing of my brother and the way that he passed. And so with all that's been going on, today was just a day to kind of get out and about, include the community, to show everyone what Steve's legacy and what his life was about. He was a gym enthusiast, he loved his family, and so we wanted to get everybody out today to give them a part of Steve's life.
Steve Perkins' brother also says their family is very appreciative of everyone's support and prayers in their continuous fight for justice, something the family hopes can be resolved peacefully.
All right, Governor Kay Ivey's statewide no burn order now in effect. All outdoor burning is now prohibited. Since the statewide fire alert was issued last month, the Alabama Forestry Commission has responded to nearly 400 wildfires. Ivey hopes this order will reduce those numbers. And some may think the burn order may not apply to them, especially if you think of things like the grill on your patio or the fire pit out on your porch. But Huntsville fire officials took time out today to put some water on that idea. The fire chief, Mac McFarland, dispelled some myths, or some of the myths or things folks might not know about the burn ban, including the myth that just one good rain in the forecast means an end to the problem.
Is we will have a situation like this. We will actually get a small rain. A lot of people that had something they wanted to burn, they thought, okay, the ground's wet, it's rained. What they're not understanding is an hour after the sun pops back out, everything's just as dry as it was.
Well, Huntsville Fire says it all boils down to these three things you need to know. There is no outdoor burning allowed in the state at this point. It will remain that way for the foreseeable future until further notice. Officials ask that if you do see anyone conducting any type of outdoor burn, grilling, trash piles, whatever, to report it to authorities.
Most of Alabama is in drought of some level currently. In North Alabama, from I-59 northward, we are in an extreme drought.
Which means?
So over the past 60 days, or about past two months, we're about 6 to 8 inches short of what we expected in terms of precipitation.
So in other words,
for now, it's not going to end soon. It will take several weeks.
So how is this extreme drought affecting farmers?
It has a twofold impact on agriculture. On the one hand, it does give farmers the space to go out into the field and harvest their summer crop because it is dry enough to get out into the field. But on the other hand, it also means that it's too dry to start planting winter crops and winter wheat.
So what actually qualifies a drought disaster?
To be technically designated as a drought disaster county by the USDA, it has to be a county that has been in D2 drought, which is severe drought, for at least 8 weeks. Or counties that have been in D3 or D4 drought, which is extreme and exceptional drought, for even just 1 week.
However, the good news is, for those counties, that means that they are now eligible to apply for federal assistance.
That designation frees up federal money through FSA, Farm Service Agency, to help financially assist farmers during this time.
In Huntsville, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
The Madison City Council has put a big emphasis on public safety, and one project will provide better access to services in the town Madison area. Our Ken McCoy has the details.
Quality of life starts with your safety and your health.
The Madison City Council approved to turn a purchased building in the town Madison area into a new fire station and police substation.
The building itself will house a fire station 4, 2 bays, the livability for our fire team, but we also will have a police substation where investigations, bicycle division, and a lot of training aspects for the police department can move, and eventually we can grow into as our city continues to grow.
It also helps the growing public safety teams.
As we've grown as a city, our police department is just bulging at the seams in the current areas that we have here in City Hall. So the second part is the fire station. We have a fire station 4 right now, but it's kind of a temporary station and not in the perfect spot that in turn helps us with getting to everyone in town Madison.
And thanks to the city council, placing a station in town Madison will also give homeowners in that area an added benefit.
So they basically supported our fire station and our fire team, who said this is critical to making sure we keep insurance rates at the lowest possible rate that we can.
AAA spokesperson Clay Ingram shares why this is a big deal.
Most people don't realize that if you live fairly close to a fire station, and a lot of people do and really don't realize it, then that has an impact on what your homeowner's insurance rate is. And every insurance company has sort of their own way of calculating that. But for the most part, if you live within 5 miles of a fire station, that's going to be a big plus on bringing your insurance rate down.
And the owners won't have to wait long for completion.
This is going to give us a more efficient, more effective ability to manage the growing area that is the south portion of Madison, the town Madison area. It'll take about 18 months to complete, but in the end, we'll have a complete public safety facility over in town Madison.
For Fox 54 News, I'm Ken McCoy.
But addressing the overall community affordable housing issue is more than just building units, it's modernizing units.
The City of Huntsville's Community Development Department is doing all it can to ensure affordable housing in the city lives up to the goal of quality of life for all.
It's actually addressing zoning issues and making sure our wages are compatible with the competitive rent market within our community. So there's a lot of aspects to what affordable looks like.
Through funding from the Emergency Rental Assistance Program, property owners of existing low-income multifamily units can have the properties modernized.
We were able to leverage some federal funds, and this federal funding will allow us to target like 48 units and above multifamily and senior developments that may be aging a little bit, that maybe they were built in the 60s or 70s and they're in need of some modernization updates. The improved and updated units will lead to an improved and updated quality of life.
In my conversation with Erwin, we discussed how the city has been proactive in regards to the city's growth and the housing need.
So the affordable housing opportunities within Huntsville, obviously we're a growing city. We've had a lot of people moving in. We're on a huge growth spurt within our multifamily projects, but also so has community development because we use leverage to create affordable units, those units that are restricted by income and they can't escalate those rent prices. So we've been doing it for a while. The availability of federal funding has allowed us to do it a little bit more aggressively lately.
Leading the city to create a position dedicated to seeing these projects through.
City Council has recognized the needs and the mayor, so we're actually working on a job description for a position that will be dedicated to affordable housing out of community development sometime in the first quarter or first half of 24. So it's a very important issue.
The deadline to apply is 5 p.m. Monday, November 20th. For Fox 54 News, I'm Ken McCoy.
It's become a cultural hotspot in Huntsville, and its latest partnership sets the districts up to get bigger with some help from New Orleans. Our Ken McCoy has more.
What does Mid-City and the New Orleans Saints have in common? Well, for starters, this isn't a sports story, but there's definitely some teamwork involved.
So the owner of the New Orleans Saints, the Benson family, started the Benson Capital Fund as a way to invest in transformative real estate projects.
Mid-City is continuing to bring entertainment and fresh culture to the city. And what better place to help than a city known for its culture?
So they've reached out and through that, we've created a partnership with them because they really believe in the Mid-City vision as a transformative real estate project.
RCP companies and business capital partners announced a strategic partnership positioning Mid-City for future growth.
They really liked our vision behind Mid-City and just the redevelopment of this area of town. Creating culture from scratch is a difficult thing. New Orleans oozes culture. A lot of Mid-City is inspired by New Orleans.
Phase 1 is a $13.75 million investment for Mid-City's placemaker retail.
So the specific deal that they've invested in is all the existing retail that is at Mid-City. So the REI, High Point, Tula Jour, Komodo Ramen, Wahlburgers, Dave & Buster's. It's the buildings that make up the Retail 2 project that we have recapitalized, and they invested in the recapitalization. It's phase 2 that will bring in more retailers to the frontage of Mid-City.
And being a part of this growth hits home.
I'm born and raised Huntsville, so I saw the Madison Square Mall when it was first here. And so to be a part of changing the cultural landscape for North Alabama, it's very fulfilling in that way.
For Fox 54 News, I'm Ken McCoy.
Well, check this out. A local MAPCO is changing its signature green to red. Well, it's because the relatively new MAPCO is turning into a Circle K, the location on Governor's Drive and the Parkway. This comes after MAPCO's parent company, Kopec, agreed to sell more than 100 of its stores to Circle K's parent company. Stores in states like Tennessee, Kentucky, and Georgia will also undergo the new brand change. If you live in the Edmonton Heights area, you may have noticed something new. The National Register of Historic Places has a new marker at the corner of Meridian Street and Wilkinson Drive. Back in 1958, Edmonton Heights provided housing for Black Americans who lost their homes under Huntsville's urban renewal program. The neighborhood was first added to the register in June of 2021, and it is the first historically Black residential neighborhood to be listed. Mayor Tommy Battle had this to share on the new marker. In part, quote, preserving neighborhoods like Edmonton Heights provides an opportunity to leverage the lessons of yesterday to build a brighter tomorrow, end quote. BJ's Wholesale making its big debut in Alabama, and it's set to open officially this Friday in the city of Madison. It's just in time for Thanksgiving. Our Jasmine Bird got a sneak peek inside before the big opening day. Let's take a look.
Well, it is a wonderful time of year right here at BJ's Wholesale Club, and it's so exciting because they're preparing for their opening, and this is the seasonal section of the store. We're preparing for Christmas, we're preparing for all the great holidays ahead, so let's take a sneak peek inside of the store.
BJ's Wholesale Club is coming to Madison.
The brand new club is a part of town Madison, just minutes from Toyota Field, and in just 2 days, it will be opening to the public.
We are opening on Friday, November 10th.
The store's external communications senior manager, Brianna King, says they're all about providing a one-stop shop for families.
Right now we have a special founding member offer now through November 9th where shoppers can join as a member for only $55 a year with the club card membership and receive a $40 in reward plus more than $40 worth of coupons.
And that isn't the only deal available.
We have a tradition here right before the holidays where we offer our members a free turkey promotion. So our Madison members can actually take advantage of that free turkey offer November 10th through the 12th this weekend, right when the club doors open. And when they spend $150 in one transaction, whether online or in club, they'll receive a free turkey.
Curbside pickup is also available.
So when you're in a rush and I'm a mom of 2, I have toddlers, curbside pickup is the way to go.
The store also has a full deli, paper products, fresh produce, and clothing.
This is actually one of our own brands right here. So we really pride ourselves on the unbeatable value, but great quality as well in all of our own brands.
In Madison, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
Well, a big step today in helping kids in Morgan and Lawrence County. A ribbon cutting hosted by the Decatur-Morgan County Chamber celebrated a new facility for First Priority of Greater Decatur and Clothe Our Kids. The new build is located on Highway 31 in Decatur and comes after the nonprofit quickly outgrew its last facility. Clothe Our Kids Director Brandy Breeden shared a little more on how they help kids get the clothes they need.
Since day one, it has been our goal to clothe kids with confidence and to show kids love through these clothing bags. So each kid we provide for gets 7 tops, 4 bottoms, a new pack of socks, a new pack of underwear, a new pair of tennis shoes, a hygiene kit, and a coat. And then we deliver it to the school to be passed on to the child. And so we just want them to feel love through those clothing bags and to just feel good about what they're wearing.
Wow, well, congratulations. Clothe Our Kids opened back in 2016 and since then helped almost 7,500 kids get clothing bags. This year alone, the program helped more than 1,200 kids.
Now, Fox 54 Top Teacher, sponsored by Calhoun Community College.
Well, I'm excited to introduce this top teacher. She received not 1, not 2, not 3, but 6 nominations. A top teacher first. So of course we had to shine light on the kindergarten teacher out of Decatur. From Bakes-Cadell Elementary, we meet Caitlin Rancher.
In Caitlin Rancher's class. Make sure we're listening. Remember, we have to go eat.
Teaching kindergartners.
Go ahead and put a bubble in your mouth. Your hands are behind your back.
Is like raising her own.
Thank you. Follow me. What motivates me is just like I'm a mama, so I try to like pour that mom energy into my kids.
From the classroom.
Or do you want to hold my hand? Okay.
To the lunchroom.
I love you. You're so sweet.
Sweet like the lunch.
We have cinnamon rolls and there's strawberries.
The kids will eat.
Once you get your tray, what do? Get your milk and what?
Rancher is new to teaching, just like her students are new to learning.
Ms. Rancher came in at the beginning of the year. Many of her children had never been in school before. In fact, she even had students who didn't speak English, and now they're already so successful in the classroom.
Her principal, Britt Lovelace, says a teacher's impact, like Rancher's, matters.
Well, it's very important for teachers in kindergarten to make an impact on children because this is their foundation.
But while Rancher is new to teaching,
one of my students currently, she gives me a Spanish word every week.
Learning is no exception for her. Rancher says it helps when there's support.
Having that support is key, and that makes me get out of the bed, even when I'm like, oh, I don't feel like getting up at 5:30, you know. I enjoy coming here. I enjoy my staff. I have the best staff in the world.
And Rancher plans on working with the staff for a little while.
I don't see myself retiring until I'm like 50, and I'm only 23 years old.
So young, but so bright. Congratulations, Caitlin, a top teacher indeed. We have more of our sit down at lunch with Caitlin on FOX54.com. And while you're at it, nominated teacher.
So we're a federal agency, and we're here just to reestablish our connection to support the diversification of our workforce in the future.
Meet 2002 Alabama A&M University graduate Sean Smith. Smith has worked with the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission for 21 and a half years. NRC is a federal agency that oversees the safe use of both nuclear power and radioactive materials in the U.S. and internationally.
I tell a lot of people I never applied for this role at NRC. My resume was on file at the Career Development Services Center, and that's how NRC found me, was through that center and finding my resume, looking specifically for physics majors. And that landed me my amazing career at NRC.
NRC Chair Christopher Hansen also paid Alabama A&M students and the university president Daniel Wims a visit.
The NRC has a 20-year relationship with Alabama Agricultural Mechanical University, of which I think both of us are very proud. And it's important in this critical time for the country as we make the energy transition, where we make greater use of a greater array of energies. Certainly our focus is on the nuclear side, but we need smart graduates. We need well-established research programs to support that.
And you don't have to be a nuclear engineer to work at the NRC.
We need, electrical engineers, mechanical, geophysicists, lots of different groups.
Smith adds that it's all about providing opportunities for summer internships and creating opportunities for tuition assistance and scholarships.
That helps to create a pipeline and increase the pool of candidates that would help us diversify our workforce in the future.
In Huntsville, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
When we purchased the building 2 years ago, we started peeling back paint, and that's when we found actual red on the wall, and so we started peeling a little more, and we're like, that had to have been a mural at one time.
And they were right.
So we started digging, and we found pictures from the 1940s that actually, it was an aerial photograph of this entire segment of town, and in the photograph it had the Coca-Cola mural. So that's when we knew that there was one there in the past.
Downtown Athens event venue owners Danny and Sandra Whitfield say there's actually a lot of history here.
the artists that actually come up with this rendering, which is an actual historic mural. It wasn't the one that was here, but it was a historic mural that you would see in large towns like Atlanta and Birmingham and Nashville. So we signed off on it, Coke signed off on it, we got the city's approval, and now you got this beautiful mural here.
However, the history in this community doesn't quite stop there.
The train would stop and you would get on the train and leave, and then people, as they're coming into town, all of these businesses were facing the railroad, and it's in essence what it's like going to the airport today. It was the hub of the town.
And the community's response has been all smiles, or should I say, all likes.
The town is just super excited, just from the Facebook post, likes, and the comments of everyone. I've never seen, we've got close to 1,000 likes on Facebook and over 700 comments, and not one negative.
In Athens, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
One Madison County woman is approaching a milestone that many consider a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. She will become a centenarian. Surrounded by family and friends, Mrs. Willie Mae Draper celebrated this milestone in grand fashion at a celebration fit for a queen. When asked how she felt, she kept it short and sweet while her loved ones spoke of the significance of this day.
Well, it doesn't feel much different than this a year ago.
Having my mother in my life for 74 years of my life is such a pleasure, it's such a blessing from God, really. Don't too many people make it to 100 years old.
It's just beautiful to have her with us, and we stand on her shoulders, and we grow, and we do amazing things in her honor.
And Mother Draper will officially turn 100 on November 25th.
Once more, many happy birthdays to Willie Mae. Here's to another year of joy to you and yours. That will put the birthday wrapping on this edition of the Week in Review, an original series found most weekends on Fox 54 Plus and our station YouTube page. Remember, you can get Fox 54 Plus for free on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV devices to see this show and our newscast live or on demand. For everyone at Fox 54 News, I'm Kenesha Dees. See you next time.